If you see something that is unethical, that is harmful to innocent, confused adolescent children, it's absolutely my job to do something.
That's Dr. Eden Heim, a now former employee of Texas Children's Hospital who accessed patient records from the health systems database and later leaked them to lawmakers and media outlets. Heim contends the redacted letters served as proof that TCH continued and expanded its adolescent transgender health care program after publicly announcing suspension of gender-altering intervention treatments for children. Hailed as a heroic whistleblower by some, Dr. Heim was criminally charged last month in U.S. District Court for wrongful disclosure of confidential health information and faces the possibility of 10 years in prison. Panel, while surgical and medicinal gender transitioning health treatments for children are banned in Texas now, they were legal in May of 2023 when Heim leaked the records. All right. Who wants to take this one on? Gary?
Yeah, look, I think he's a whistleblower, number one. Number two, Texas Children was disingenuous. They put out this press release saying, oh, we're not going to do this anymore, and they were continuing to do it. And the fact that the federal government now is coming after a whistleblower, well, that's because they're paying homage to the transgender lobby.
Okay, tomorrow.
If he had leaked that they were experimenting with sexually transmitted drugs on minority children, he'd have a parade because everybody would want to know. You know, this appears to be, I don't know. I mean, I know you got HIPAA laws that you're supposed to, you know, keep everybody's stuff confidential. I didn't know that he had broken into the system, and you saying when he did it in 2023, they were still legal.
Yes.
It was still legal. So the data that he's showing was legally done.
The data, they're saying it was a crime for him to go in and take this confidential information and make it public. It's as simple as that.
Right, it's far simpler than I mean, everyone wants to inject all sorts of political narratives, and I disagree personally with the profiteering off of confused children that we've seen the medical industry do. It's incredibly lucrative, right? But specific to him, if he took children's names and expose them to third parties, right, which I don't know. Right? Well, the question is, was it fully redacted, and did it expose these children to further harm? Then I think there most certainly should be an indictment, because that would be awful and that would be evil. If instead he got access to the information, removed all the identifiers, and was simply saying, hey, I see this as abuse and I want to report it as a mandatory reporter, it's very different. But I will absolutely agree that the only reason he's probably being indicted by the federal government is a genuflection to the very loud voice in the Democratic Party of not, and people want to conflate the whole LGBTQI as one thing, but instead this is the trans advocacy, right, which clearly has led to some pretty absurdist, right, but of course all the bigotry and homophobia of the Republican Party has swung that pendulum over there, and all of us reasonable people are just sitting here in the middle saying, hey, there shouldn't be a 30-year-old with a penis in a locker room with a 12-year-old girl, but also if hospitals are chopping up children illegally, it also needs to be exposed. And you know, I don't think we know all the details, but I do think there could have been a crime committed, and that's why we have lawyers, that's why we have a process.
Yeah, my big question before we go to break is, with all of the corruption we have in the city of Houston, this is what our U.S. Attorney's Office is spending their time on. Anyway,
Agreed.
Up next, the mounting pressure